In this video, I'm going to be making the most awesome green pea soup with maple bacon in a high-speed blender. If you don't have one of these, don't worry, you can use a normal food processor, and we'll discuss that in the video. Cheers. G'day everybody and welcome to my Aussie gardening kitchen. If it's your first time here, my name's Darren, but please call me Daz, and I'm a retired chef here in Australia. Now, I don't cook anymore professionally, but I do cook at home, and on this channel I actually grow fruit in an orchard. I grow a whole bunch of veggies out in garden beds and containers, and also grow my own herbs and berries and things like that. And I love to show that on my channel, as well as bringing those things inside and cooking things for you. Now, I also like to preserve, and I dehydrate, I can, you name it. So if that's something you think you'd like, please stick around, subscribe to my channel, tick that bell to get notifications, and I'd love to have you here as part of my great big family of people here on my channel. Thanks. So as I said earlier, we're going to be making a pea soup with this high-speed blender. So what I've got here is 3 cups of frozen peas. So I'm just going to get those into the blender. I'm going to put 1.5 cups of chicken stock. Now you can use a vegetable stock if you prefer, but for me in this case I'm using a chicken stock. And we've got this liquid here just to give something in there for it to bind and get all those ingredients blended together. And then obviously we want a bit of liquid there for the soup consistency. So I'm going to add about half of that for now and see how it looks. Now here I've got green onions, or spring onions as we say here in Australia, fresh from my garden. Now I'm just going to rip these up, drop them in, as simple as that. The blender's going to do all the work and chop them up and make them all smooth. And just a tip, when you're harvesting your green onions or spring onions from the garden, don't pull them out of the ground. Cut them and leave about 1 inch in the ground. And what will happen is the bottom section that's pointing up, it's going to sprout a new one. And this one here, this is actually probably maybe the 4th time that I've actually cut it and regrown it. It's a great idea, saves money. I've got some broccoli. This is sprouting broccoli that I've grown in my garden, and I'm just going to put that in. Now, the sprouting broccoli is optional in this recipe. I'm just using it because I've got it out there and I love the flavour. Now, you don't have to have broccoli in this recipe at all. Obviously, you need the peas. And I've got snow peas. Again, snow peas are optional, but I grow these fresh here and I love using them at any chance I can get. So with the pea soup, I'm going to use them in a pea soup. And again, because it's a high-speed blender, I'm just chucking them in. I'm not going to chop them up, just like that. And here I've got fresh peppermint that I grow here in my garden, and this is a part of the recipe. So I would like to see that in the final recipe if you make this yourself. And here I've got some maple bacon just for a bit of flavour and saltiness in this soup. Now with the bacon, I've diced it up myself and put it into my really hot skillet, and I've fried it off, getting it nice and crispy, but leaving also some soft pieces in there as well if I can, and then finishing it off at the very end with maple syrup, and it just makes it nice and sweet, and it's got like a candy-like flavour and consistency at the end. It's fantastic. And I'm just going to put the 1/4 cup in here so that little bit of flavour in the soup. Now I have got some left in a bowl, and that's going to be used as a garnish on top later on. Alright, we'll pop the lid on, get that lid nice and sealed, make sure it's all secure so we don't make a mess. And quite simply, I'm just going to put it on high speed, just straight away. Get it going on high and let it do its thing. So push things around. Now I've just stopped it so you can hear me properly while I explain to you the incredible way these high-speed blenders work. Now check this out. Watch the steam come out of here. Hopefully you can see that just there. Now these blenders work at such a high speed, and combined with the vortex motion that this Optimum 8200 blender has, what it's doing is it's actually heating up the liquid and cooking the soup. So what you can do is you throw all your ingredients in there, raw, and just let it blend for about 5 minutes, and you're actually going to cook your soup as you blend it, and it's ready to go. It's incredible. Now, if you don't have one of these high-speed blenders, I'll just cheekily add that down in the description below, I've actually got a discount code, and if you were to buy one of these through my link, you will get a discount at checkout. But anyway, if you don't have a high-speed blender like this, take your normal blender or a food processor, and very carefully, with the lid on at all times, blend up all the ingredients like this, and then just transfer it to a saucepan on the stove, and heat it up, and make sure you get your soup boiling at a safe level, and you're pretty much good to go, and you've got a nice, delicious hot soup made just like this. Now, this should be pretty good for seasoning, but I'm just going to pop it open and have a taste, because at this stage, we can always add seasoning if we have to. It smells incredible, I might add. And look at that green colour. Oh my gosh. That green colour is off the charts. It is so good. So I'm just going to have a taste. Oh boy. Doesn't need seasoning. I had to lick the spoon, I'm sorry. Oh man, that is so creamy and hot and delicious. Oh. All right, so this is actually ready to go. It's been blending for about 5 minutes and it's piping hot. So what I'll do now is I'll get into the bowl and finish it off. Because I just used a high-speed blender, it's incredibly powerful and it breaks everything down. So this is silky smooth and you don't need to put it through a sieve or anything like that. Those shells on the peas, obliterated. It's now a nice hot creamy soup. Cracked black pepper, optional, but I need to have it. I just love it. Like that. Now we've got the delicious maple bacon that I prepared earlier. So I'm just going to break that up with our fingers, with my fingers, not our fingers. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on top. And that there is one awesome bowl of soup, everybody. I'm going to put a bit extra on. I can't help myself. I absolutely love this stuff. And that maple bacon that's candy-like now and crispy with the warm soup, it's fantastic. And now the bacon's obviously cold and gone a bit hard. That's fine because you can stir it into the soup and soften it up a little bit. But I just love the consistency and I'm eating it like this. Can't wait. Okay, so my wife is demanding that she has some now while it's warm, so I'm just going to pour some in for her. There we go, that'll do. Oh, look at that steam coming off it. It's awesome. And if you want, you can actually add a bit more of that chicken stock if you want to make it a bit runnier. But I like the thickness of it. So here, actually, my wife wants cracked black pepper too. Just a little bit for her. And then I'm just going to grab some of this crispy maple crunchy caramelized bacon and just drop some on top for her. Break it up with my fingers. My fingers are washed, thank you very much. And there we go. We are done. All right, I'll just put this aside for my wife because she's dying to have some right now. And this, everybody, is my green pea soup with crispy maple bacon. And of course, Daz approves. This recipe is customizable, so you could add more broccoli if you wanted a more broccoli flavor in here. You could add more mint to have a more pronounced mint flavor. You could also, at the end, sprinkle a bit of olive oil on top, just for a little bit of extra flavor from the olive oil. You could add cream to this. At the end of the blending process in the high-speed blender, just pour in a little bit of cream and you can blend that through for a nice creamier soup. If you're using a food processor or a blender that's not as high-powered and you are bringing it to the boil on the stove, just pour a bit of cream in while it's simmering and stir it in gently, and you've got that creamier soup as well. Something I like to do is add a lot more of that bacon, that maple bacon. I put in a 1/4 cup for this, but personally, I like to put almost a cup and really raise the level of that bacon flavour in the soup. There's so many things you can do. I just really enjoy making this and playing around with it. But I'll leave the recipe in the description down below, the base recipe that'll give you a couple of serves like this of delicious, hot, pea soup with that maple bacon, and then it's all yours. You can do what you like. Either do it just like that or play around and make it more customizable to you. If you did appreciate this video and this recipe, I'd love for you to give me a big thumbs up, and also leaving comments down below is always awesome because I love reading them and replying to them. If you were to subscribe, that'd be fantastic. And of course, if you check out this video on the screen right now, it's going to take you to a playlist which will show you my other cooking videos. There's going to be stuff in there that you're going to like. I'm sure there is. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.